Folks, hello and welcome back to Doom Reach. This is going to be a beautiful scenic tour of Nagaroth's countryside, which I'm sure all of you are looking for land in order to build a getaway retreat. In case you're tired of the city, you can go out to basically the somewhat desolate-looking, cold wasteland forest. This is going to be a 2v2 battle, folks. This is going to be fun. This is going to bring a lot of spooky ghost units up against Ogres. So yeah, this matchup is going to be Vampire Counts and Norska up against a double Ogre build. And the Vampire Counts and Norska have a ton of ethereal units brought by the Vampires. There's also some support by Corpse Carts. That's mixed in with just kind of some standard fair Norskan infantry here. Pretty cheap on the infantry. There are some Horrors supporting as well. So Crypt Horrors, remember, are pretty fast and they have poison. And what's going to be interesting about ethereal units, and I am going to slow down because the battle's about to get joined here pretty quick, ethereal units all have Frostbite now. And Frostbite has a pretty massive slowing effect. It's about 30%. So once you get hit by these ethereals, you really can't retreat unless you use another unit to block. And then, of course, that unit's going to get hit by Frostbite. And the Ogres, as tough of a faction as they are a bit weak to basically leadership routes and terror, so they don't do perfect with leadership, but they do hit hard when they hit. And taking a look at the Ogre armies, we've got some Mournfang cavalry. There's a couple of Lead Belchers, one on either team. There's a Harpoon Launcher here, so that's going to be our Hunter on the Stonehorn. Or no, it's just the Stonehorn Harpoon Launcher. Remember, it's good against large. There's a lot of Nobblers to provide some chaff, and in this case, up against this type of army, that would be good. You definitely want the Nobblers to provide the chaff, and as far as leadership goes, we have an Ogre Tyrant here. And then there's a Fire Belly as well, and this one's got Burning Head and Flaming Sword, so some pretty useful stuff there. And then we've also got over here the Slaughter Master of Great Maw. Let's take a little bit closer. I'm going to pause just a second. Let's take a bit of a closer look up at these units' abilities. So we got Brain Gobbler here, which is a leadership hex. This could be good against Norska. It's not going to do a ton to the vampires other than maybe cause them to crumble a little bit faster, depending on the situation. And then there's Troll Guts. Now, Troll Guts, on the other hand, is a very powerful heal spell. So this is a pretty nice one to bring, I think, in terms of support. And then if we go take a look at the Fire Belly, just to make sure we all remember here, Flaming Sword is going to imbue magic attacks. So this could be really important here, especially with all the ethereals around. If you imbued magic attacks onto all the Nobblers and Ogre Bulls and stuff, you could find yourself getting rid of ethereals pretty quickly, because remember, they are 50% physical resistance. But the danger doesn't end with just the ethereals. You've also got this flying Manticore duo here. I really like Manticores. They're a bit squishy, but up against the right factions, say like against Greenskins, maybe in this case against Ogres and others, Manticores are a pretty dangerous unit because they do a lot of damage quickly. They are squishy, but they can get those terror routes, and they can do it relatively quick. So it's something you definitely have to watch out for. Now, Kemmler is leading the Vampire Army. He's got the Dire Pack working hand-in-hand with the Chillgeist. This is an excellent 1-2 combo. Now, the Chillgeist are an ethereal unit, and they definitely have the Frostbite attack, but they have an extra effect, too, called the Chilling Aura. And essentially, you're going to get hit with about a 60% speed debuff whenever you get touched by the Chillgeist. Now, if you even just get close to them, you'll end up with a 30% speed debuff, and it gets very hard to get away from them. Throg is going to be the leadership for Norska here. He's got some Poison Warhounds, and he is working through the forest, being supported by a Balefiend of Shadows here. And if we take a look at the shadow magic that was brought, it's going to be Melkoth's Miasma. That's pretty good. The Pit of Shades is not going to be amazing, and neither would Pendulum up against the Ogres. And then back here, we've got a Shaman Sorcerer of Metal, so a double caster build here. And it looks like he's just bringing his passive here, which is the Rage. Or no, there's a Final Transmutation. Okay, yeah, so that makes sense. Final Transmutation would be pretty good against the Ogres. And as far as the rest of the Ogre units, they mostly have Bulls and Nobblers mixed together, but there are some Iron Guts. Like you can see a unit here. Let's see, one's a Bull. There's some the Powder Guts back here. And you can see some more Iron Guts in the back. We do have some Mournfang cavalry present. And then there is also the Sky Striders here, which is the Crusher Great Weapon. So there's a couple of very powerful anti-large units on the field for the Ogres. Now, as far as just like a head-up fight, let's say that magic didn't play a role, like with Flaming Sword of Ruin. The Ogres do not have much magic damage. Basically, the Fire Belly is going to be your only real magic damage coming out of this. And you can see the Vampire Counts know this, and they're just going to plow headlong in with these Banshees. It's not going to be easy. for the Ogres to turn these things around without some serious help. And you can see, of course, because of the Frostbite, the Banshees can get an attack and easily withdraw as well. Now, some of the Ogre units are going to come up here and meet early with the Norskin Spears. I like these cheap chaff units here. They may not even last long, but they'll get in and cause some problems. And look, here comes the Cairn Wraiths in behind. Cairn Wraiths do armor-piercing damage. They move very quickly. And like I said, they imbue that Frostbite, which is definitely really bad if you're trying to protect your units and pull back from a fight. Look at the terror already taking place here. It does not take long. 2 units already terrified and fleeing back towards the Firebelly. Now, the Firebelly can say something about this fight. He would be very powerful in a 1v1 up against these Banshees. Now, getting double-teamed may not be ideal, but he is going to be dealing some significant damage to Ethereals, and you can see the Ethereals pulling away from him. And I would think the Flaming Sword of Ruin really is going to have to come into play if they want to be successful. Now, this flank is being pushed by Cryptors, Skinwolves, and the Beast of Tashnar. The Beast of Tashnar, of course, being an anti-large variant of Norskin Warhounds. So you can see that essentially what's going to be taking place here is we're going to be getting a push around this flank where I'll call it the home team here, one that's submitted. They're pushing to hit a flank and then immediately come around looking for maybe rear charges or disruptions. But man, here comes the Sky Striders, and check this out. The Sky Striders just absolutely crap all over the Beast of Tashnar, and they're going to rip straight through those Skin Wolves as well. This is going to be a no contest for the Sky Striders. They are in perfect shape back there, not going to be bothered much at all. Now, on the other flanks, a little bit different scenario. We got the Chillgeist in here. There is a lot of support being poured in by the Lead Belchers. However, this flank is under some serious pressure. There's a couple of Skin Wolves. These are really nice anti-large against low armor units like most Ogre infantry. So Skin Wolves are a really excellent pick, and then combined with the Frostbite of the Wraiths, the anti-large of the Spears, this is a very effective 1-2 punch against the Ogres. And look, here comes the Dire Pack hitting a nice anti-large rear charge. Again, Dire Pack not good against armor, but the Ogres don't have a lot of armor. Now, Kemmler did get caught out here by some Mournfang cavalry with great weapons. I am shocked how well Kemmler was shrugging this off. He's barely being touched. There were a few Cryptor models that were kind of helping to body block for him a little and may have saved his life there because he just really did not take much damage. Now the Harpoon Launcher, let's see what it's focused over here on some of these large units. I think the Cryptors. The Tyrant gets caught in between 2 Banshees and gets sent packing real quick. There's that Terror route, so even on the leader here, Poison, yeah, Terrify, that's rough. And then you've got a Corpse Card around for support as well. So the Cryptors were doing the poison, and then the Banshees were rolling with the Frostbite. And I mean, these Ogre units are not faring well against the Cairn Wraiths. And then you combine that with the Terror effect, and this is a pretty effective pick, it's looking like right now. And it's kind of interesting, they've almost kind of split the Ogre army in half. You can see kind of an engagement taking place kind of along these lines right here, and then another one taking place like that. And kind of got some of the Ogre units still sitting out here in the middle supporting, but effectively kind of making 2 smaller battles with their maneuvering here. And boy, these Skin Wolves and other units have combined for some real effect. Look at the Sky Striders, though, man. This unit's already got 82 kills. And it's up against a lot of anti-large units. Now, they're being supported by some Bulls. Still comes the Dire Pack. The Sky Striders are still going to be kicking butt here. Now, they're not probably going to be able to tank through everything here, and they'll definitely want to watch out for someone like Krell. Krell got summoned here, and he is after a different unit of Mournfang cavalry, and that is a good place to use him because Krell hits so hard. It wouldn't take many hits for him to put down a model of the Mournfang cavalry, which of course would be a big loss. There's 2 of them in there, so there's a lot of Mournfangs. You got Throg in there too. Throg is also going to hit really hard. Let's check this out. That is the Flaming Sword of Ruin. That's a good call. That is certainly going to do some damage against the ethereal units here, but it looks like the Chill guys were trying to pull away from that while it was happening, and overall just not terribly effective for the Ogres despite using that Flaming Sword. I think they're just a little bit overnumbered here. There comes a Fireball from the flank out of the Fire Belly, but this fight is definitely swinging. There goes the Sky Striders. They were doing okay, but then just couldn't finish it. There was too many Skin Wolves, too many Spears, and they got in there. There may have been a final transmutation there too that I'm not sure if I caught. Now they're being chased away. Another good use for the Manticore and the Chillgeist here. Chasing things off of the battlefield, making sure they don't come back to make an impact. The right-hand flank is all wrapped up, and you can see there was a few units still fleeing away that are kind of being pushed and chased. And then over here in the middle, the corpse cart I guess kind of humping the Stonehorn here. I'm not exactly sure what that's about. Maybe these zombies are feeling a little bit of Slaneshi urges. They just got to take it out somewhere, and the Stonehorn is present. But I don't expect that fight to go well. But sure, the guys on that corpse guard are exceptionally brave for undead corpses. We got some Cairn rates back here that are, of course, going to continue to be an issue for Nobblers. The Powder Guts, not able to make too much of an impact here. They've only got 11 kills. Let's see if they got any value from any of these larger, more value. They did. They got a lot of value there, 1553. So they're definitely cranking some hits. But, I mean, Throg heals, Skinwolf heals. The Vampires can heal, so that's a lot of tough targets to be going after. Krell is still in here. Let's take a look before he desummons. Krell's only got 375 value, so nothing too amazing, but I mean, he did help get in here and get rid of some of these Mournfang cavalry, so this kind of spooky ghost build is looking to be pretty effective here against the Ogres. Makes me wonder how this one would work in a 1v1. You know, I haven't played a lot of Vampires versus Ogre matches. The Ogres, I don't think the Ogres in general would probably love fighting against Vampires unless they really tanked up on a lot of single entities. Single entities really kind of seem to be the bane of the Vampires. However, the Ogres don't have any of that like high entity count halberd units that are really kind of the bane of Vampires. Nice burning head there. Coming across the Chill guy. He's going to hit some of his own units as well, but kind of a desperation attempt there by the Firebelly, who's tangled up back here with, I think, the remnants of the Dire Pack and a Manticore. He's going to be driven out, and then there goes the Stonehorn monster. They just can't hold together the leadership. And honestly, folks, that was a very good build, I think, here for taking down the Ogres. The combination, I think, between what the Vampires and Norska did here was brutally effective. Like, you have these cheap spear units combining with extremely hard to kill and armor-piercing Cairn race. Now, is there a ton of armor in the Ogres? No, but some of their units do have armor. But the bigger call here, I think, is the Frostbite. The Ogres can't pull away. Makes it difficult for them to fight. If they do pull away, not only are you being frostbitten and it's slow to get away, but then you've also got to deal with the terror from being attacked in the back. And then you combine the corpse carts, which give even more buffs to the units around them. Kemmler, he's fast moving. He's not particularly strong by himself, but he's fast moving. He can be tricky to kill in the right scenario, and especially when he gets Krell summoned, he can be kind of dangerous. So I like the support of Crypt Horrors with them as well, because the poison is another slowing effect, and it also slows down the rate at which damage is dealt. So it's kind of a double whammy. So this is a really interesting setup here. I really like the Vampire build combined with Throg. There's a lot of anti-large and a ton of terror potential here, and the Ogres just kind of got overwhelmed by it. Now, I do like the Ogres. They're a fun faction to play, and like I said, this could be a tough matchup, to be honest, up against the Undead. I'm not sure, because I haven't played enough Ogres to kind of feel that one out a little more, but I think it could be tough just because they struggle with leadership, and like I said, they don't have the large entity count, anti-large units that are kind of the typical bane of Vampires. But in any case, some stats there. Let's take a look. The Firebelly, no, I mean, these Ogre units were struggling to find the value, except the Mournfang Cavalry did pretty good. I mean, they got into a heavyweight fight, they got beat. I mean, they still picked up quite a bit of value. Let's go look at the Sky Striders real quick. 1688, not enough to pay for themselves, but they were certainly hitting hard. I think they got terrorized and chased off before they were able to get their full value there. I mean, these Powder Guts got a lot of damage done, and the Lead Belchers weren't doing too bad, but a lot of the units struggling to find their way there. Anyway, hope you all enjoyed this one. I enjoyed it. Hey, if you did enjoy it, take a moment to go hit the like button, and if you didn't enjoy it, make sure to go push the dislike button, and then feel free to go in the comments, make fun of my family, my smell, or anything else that you choose to do. Always love to hear from you in the comments. And anyway, also, if you want to check out the screen here, there's a way for you to subscribe if you want to see more. And then, of course, I'll have some more videos posted there at the end that you can choose to go watch if you want. And I will see you all soon with some more action in Total War Warhammer 3.